49er fans, you get it. It would not be a regular 49er offseason without some kind of wide receiver contract drama, and we finally got it. Right before camp, perfect timing, just when vibes are high and everyone's gelling really well and we feel really good about the season. Of course, we're going to have some wide receiver drama. Freaking sucks. Welcome in, everybody. Seth Floyd Show. I'm your host, Seth Floyd Hansen. Hit subscribe if you're here. That'd be great. Let me get to 500. We're at 392, so got a little bit to go, but we're still plugging along. So, 49er fans, you know what I'm about to say, okay? Monday, Adam Schefter, Monday morning, dropped the news that Jauan Jennings is looking for a new contract, and he's willing to hold out. Jauan Jennings is looking for a new contract, and if he's not going to get it, he wants to be traded. Man, oh man. I'm so fatigued still from all the talk last season that this is like the worst way to start a Monday, if you ask me. But I think that there are some obvious, sorry, I messed with the mic here. There are some obvious differences between the Jennings situation and the Ayuk situation. One, I don't think anybody believes Jennings is a number one. I think he could be if you were forced to, like last year, given all the injuries and just kind of what had happened. Like, he stepped into that role and he played really well. He's only done it one season. Hasn't even been close in the other seasons because he mostly blocks. That's like most what he does, and then he catches the ball on third down. The other thing is Brandon Ayuk was a first-round pick. And so to increase his contract, it was going to take a lot more money. It was going to take like a significant raise. Guy Haberman talked about this on Monday when it kind of came out. He said it's a lot different having to pay Jauan than it is Brandon Ayuk because Jauan's a 7th round pick, and to make him feel valued, like, it will take less money than what Ayuk demands. So I say all that to say this: you want Jauan Jennings on your team. You do not want to trade him. You're not, whatever you get for Jauan will not feel good enough for what Jauan is worth to your team. Maybe if it had been like during the draft and you could have gotten a pick for this year, the absolute most you're getting for Jauan Jennings is a 3rd round pick, in my opinion, because they got to pay him, even though he probably won't pay. He's probably not going to break the bank. But at the same time, that works against you because they're going to be like, look, I don't think you're a number one. I'm not going to pay you like a number one. So I'm not going to give up draft capital like I'm trading for a number one wide receiver. And Ayuk's thing was like maybe a 2 for Ayuk. So for Jennings, you're looking at maybe a 3rd from a team that like really desperate for a guy, and more likely a 4th. And in no way is that going to feel good. No way does that feel like good value for Jauan because of just what he brings to the table. And what he brings to the table is so much more than just big 3rd down catches and toughness. He is just like a catalyst on offense to bring the juice. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. He sets the tone. He is a guy that, like other guys in the locker room, you rally around. Last year against the Cardinals in that second game where he only needed 25 more yards to break 1,000, and he is just putting guys into the dirt, and he is getting ejected, not for anything stupid like swinging and throwing a punch, but just for blocking too aggressively. Like, that's the kind of stuff that gets you hyped up. That's the kind of, like, you as a player are like, I will go to war with that dude. I will die for that dude. I'll lay it all on the field for that guy because he's laying it all on the line for me. And that is such a culture building type of player. You would miss him in a lot of ways if you trade him away for a 4th round pick. Even a 3rd round pick, I wouldn't do it. For me to really entertain this, because he's only going to command, his salary isn't going to be that high, it would have to be a 2nd round pick for me to even listen. If I'm John Lynch, to even listen, a 3rd round pick is like a non-starter for me because I'm just like, I would rather have him on my team because I'm not going to have to pay him $30 million, and he is an incredible piece of this machine that we've got. So let's talk his contract. He's only due $7.5 million this year. He had signed an extension last year, I believe, that bumped him up again. He was a 7th round pick, so his contract was pretty low. And I also want to say I don't blame Jauan for wanting to like if he's going to get paid, he's got to use his leverage now. So I hope that he is reasonable. My problem with Ayuk last year wasn't that he wanted to get paid. It wasn't even that he was like really holding in. It sounded like, and even Ayuk admitted it later, like I made it harder than it needed to be. Just don't take it to that level. Like you're going to miss the first week of camp, kind of make your point. That's fine. But if they give you an offer that is like very reasonable, like please jump on it instead of being like, I don't know if your agent, someone in your ear, whoever is just like, if you hold out a little longer, you might get an extra $5 million. That's where like I feel like I start having issues with it. So he's due $7.5 million this year. Like what number does he want? Does 15 get it done? Because I would do that. I wouldn't sign him to like a long-term contract, but if I give you, hey man, I'll give you 2 years, $15 million a year extension. Like, are you cool with that? I don't know. It's much more complicated than that, but I'm thinking in that $15 million range. Pushing it to 20 feels like a lot. So maybe at that point you're like, okay, maybe if he's gonna hold out until he gets 20, like then maybe we need to address this and try to trade him. But if you can get it done for $15 million, I'm doing that because again, you're not going to get a trade compensation package, whatever you want to say, package of picks. You're probably looking at one pick, maybe a third rounder. It's just not worth it to me. I love Jauan. And of course, the biggest thing of all is, even though I'm really down on Debo, but Debo being gone hurts just from hey, I know how this offense runs. I know what Kyle wants. I know what is expected of me. He's gone. And then Ayuk, we don't know how long he's going to be gone. Good money says it's going to be at least the first 4 games. I think some people are being a little egregious saying he's not going to be back before Halloween. I mean, there's like talks of him potentially being ready week 1. My guess is they will be like, he could go week 1, but we have the easiest schedule in the league and we are going to protect our investment. We're just going to force him to sit those first 4 weeks to just give him an extra 4 weeks. But if he's like borderline ready to go week 1, I can't imagine they'd hold him out till Halloween. That's half the season. And you're going to need him. You're going to need him. It's the easiest schedule in the league, but you're not that good of a team that you don't need guys, and you need him. So that's where this gets so crazy. Because if you trade away Jauan Jennings, or if he were to hold out into the season, which I don't think is going to happen, you are rolling into the season with Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, and Jordan Watkins, because it sounds like Demarcus Robinson is going to be out for the first couple games too, which that's stressful. That's no good. That's not a good situation. I like Pearsall a lot. I think he's going to be very good. I don't think he's ready to take on a number 1 role. I love Jacob Cowing as much as anybody, but it's risky because he doesn't have that many reps, and then Jordan Watkins is a rookie. So between all those things, I think it's a guarantee they re-sign Jennings, and hopefully it's around $15 million a year for 2 or 3 years, whatever. Maybe if Debo was still on the team and he looked better than he did last year, and he's just like, maybe we get one more really good year from Debo and Ayuk's. In fact, I'll say this, if Debo was still around and was like a good contributor and Ayuk didn't have the knee injury last year, I bet they would trade Jauan. I bet they would. Because they'd be like, well, we drafted Ricky Pearsall, we drafted Jacob Cowing, we drafted Jordan Watkins, like Jauan, we love you, but we'll just reset and we'll just roll with these other guys. But you are going to really take a risk if you trade him now. You just can't. I just think it's egregious unless Jauan puts it to that, unless he puts it to that level. What's that level? Hey, you need to pay me $25 million or I'm not stepping in the building. And then they're like, okay, well, we're not going to do that. We'll just trade you. Or like it sounded like with Ayuk stuff last year, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, let me know, like it sounded like Ayuk had the deal on the table for like a few weeks that he eventually signed and then just decided, all right, fine, screw it, I'll just sign it. Like he was holding out for even more money. That's the kind of crap where look, we just have to make a decision. I'm not going to pay you a certain amount of money. Plus you're just killing like the culture, the vibes right now. The distraction is just driving me nuts. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, they report in a week. Rookies reported today on the 15th. So the vets report in a week. I'm sure he'll be there. I'm sure he'll be a hold-in. He'll be like a Brandon Ayuk thing. Can they get it done before then? Yeah, I think they can. I think they can. They're trying to figure out the Alfred Collins deal as of all 30 other second round picks are unsigned right now because of that whole debacle. Houston gave their second round pick fully guaranteed money. And so, shoot, now all the second round picks are wanting the same, and who knows, man. Hopefully we can get Alfred Collins signed in camp and whatever. But I think they can get the Jennings thing done in a week. If all he wants is 12 to 15, like, I don't know. I don't know how hard they're going to play with him, hardball, but I think that gets it done, and you could get him done. At the very least, like, there's no need, with that little amount of money, like, there's no need to drag this out more than a week into camp. By the first preseason game, you should have Jennings signed. Not that he would really play in that game anyway, but just for the early part of camp, he should be signed. Those are my thoughts. We'll see how it plays out. Jennings, you do not trade him. Don't trade him for a third. The starting point would be a second, and no team in the right mind is going to give you a second-round pick for Jauan Jennings. Jennings shouldn't want 30 mil a year or 25 mil a year, even 20 a year feels like a stretch. I think if 15, you can get it done, and let's knock this out. Let's learn from our previous contract issues and mistakes we've made with other players. Let's knock this thing out, and let's get this season rocking and rolling. That's all I've got. Thank you for being here. Hit subscribe if you can. Like the video. Share it with your friends. Share it with the enemies. Training camp's here, essentially. One more week in the Vets Report, and we're going, guys. This is awesome. That's awesome. All right. That's all I got. Let's go. Go Niners.